I sold him waffles,
Oh,
and he had forgotten. He had forgotten. That's neighbor. And he was still tired. And I said, "Shit."
I
Good.
Good.
Our call for this regular meeting of the Borough Council. Mr. Chair, will you please lead us to pledge allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Speaking being held compliant with the New Jersey Public Meetings Act, advertising questions for downstairs, all official channels. I ask here with us present this evening, cell phones on silent. Please speak with somebody while we conduct business. Please also outside. Roll call.
Mr. Benjamin.
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Present.
Mr. McLuhan. Mr. Kerno. Mr. Sparaza. Mr. Woods.
Here. Thank you very much. Thank you. First on the agenda this evening is the public portion of the meeting. Anyone in the public who wishes to come forward and speak on any topic other than the budget or the salary limits, please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Olson, and I reside at 13 Borough Court. I live on Borough Court, as previously stated, and it's directly behind Time Kitchen, Lower Tito's, Hollow Grounds, that section on Center Street. If you're not familiar, or if you are, there is a partition wall that separates residential from commercial property. This wall is predating my home, which is over 106 years old, and in addition to the properties that are on the commercial side. Over the last however many years, there have been a lot of signs of cracking, whether it's staircase cracking or just foundation issues, and I have wrote to the Merchantville email addresses found on the borough's website, asking if someone could come out to look at the wall. It just poses a great risk. It looks like it's leaning, actually. I'm not sure if the support beams and structures need to be looked at. My home is actually directly connected to the wall, so much so that my porch wall, the structure of the roof itself, is kind of separating from my home and the wall, and I think it's posing a very big structural integrity issue. And I would like to reach out to the Merchantville Borough to see if there's anything that can be done. We're not sure who would be responsible for it, as it does separate residential from commercial and its own property line, and just very worried about the risk of safety for the residents of Merritt Court, but also Time Kitchen as well, and anyone on that side of the property. We'd like to make sure that the wall holds up to its integrity structurally, by keeping the importance of the structure and how old it is as well, doing that as a top priority as well.
So thank you. We did receive your email, and we've done some investigations trying to figure out exactly who's responsible for the wall, what can be done. This issue, actually, it's not the first time that this wall issue has been brought up. The last time it was brought up was in the mid to late 90s, brought before Borough Council at that time. Determination was made that it's not the borough's wall. However, at that time, we had access to neighborhood preservation funding, which is a census designated funding opportunity. And at that time, the area question fell within that census designated area. It does not anymore. And that's based on all types of demographics that we don't control. We just get told, hey, this is in this area. In fact, our neighborhood preservation is limited to a very small portion of the community at this point. So we utilized some funding at that time, a structural analysis for residents in that area. But and I believe that some small repairs may have been done. There was a collective effort, as we understand it, between homeowners or people who were living in their report at that time, and the borough provided some funding from the preservation to make those repairs. At this point, we're not in a financial position, we don't have that funding access, but we are willing to work with you guys to try and help you facilitate and find a way to make sure that at least the review is done of the wall. So we haven't quite figured out how we're gonna pay for that or what we'll do, or but I think it's probably best that we set up a meeting with any of the members of the community who live there who are interested in this.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to do that. Mrs. Rouse, who I think originally got your email, and then we have archives and see.
Sure.
There's an older Mayor Brennan who actually was in the office at the time. Yes. Who I called, he couldn't remember anything. I attribute that to his age. Mr. Higgins here, who was the solicitor at the time, though, did have some recollection. There were some meetings. So let's schedule a meeting to sit down and talk about how we might be able to facilitate whether there's grant funding opportunities. We can use the resources of our staff and whatnot, but we don't have the funding right now to do it. And we would be reluctant to do so for the very simple reason that we don't own the wall.
Absolutely.
Get it something. So,
Understood.
Mrs. Sprouse can give her contact information. You guys can connect.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Any other members of the public who wish to come up, make any statements on any topic other than the budget? So,
I just have a follow-up question. My name is Michael Bonfiglio. So, Michael Bonfiglio, yeah.
Pontilia?
Bonfiglio, Bronfiglio.
Thank you.
I'm at 14 Borough, which is the other connecting to the
Yes.
wall. So I was just confused that who actually owns the wall if it's not you guys, if it's not the township.
we don't know. We don't have records of who owns the wall, but the borough wouldn't have put a wall up. This is putting walls up. We suspect that whoever built the homes there put the wall there, but we don't know. And we don't have building plans from, I believe it was 1925 or in the early 20s. So we're not certain, but we haven't run a title report on properties, so we haven't done a survey of the properties, we haven't done any of that. But there's no records indicating, there's nothing from what we've seen that would indicate what was that property.
Okay. Also, I was just curious how you guys, the communication, as far as communication is concerned, like she sent this email like over a month or so ago.
It took some time for us to
Yeah.
look into this, look at the records, we did not use the truth.
Yeah.
They're not readily.
I understand, but I was just like, I also had reported like potholes from the street department at one point to the street department, and it was eventually resolved, but still, like we're like left in the dark. There's no response. Like, hey, I got your message. You know, just we're looking into it or something, or like we'll schedule that. So it's just like no communication. I just found it kind of annoying.
Oh, we apologize.
Okay.
We'll do what we can to be better. Generally, when things are through the traditional means, so which is now the SBL system, they can be tracked, the progress of those things.
Right.
Unfortunately, we have a very small staff, particularly for public works, that to be able to respond to everybody's email is difficult. Most of them are just in the field.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right, anyone else from the public? All right, hearing none. Close the public portion of the meeting and we'll move to resolution 2457, reading the budget by title only. Do I have a motion on that resolution? So, second. Mr. Kernan with the first, Mr. Woods, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Mr. Cornell?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public hearing on the budget, which is resolution 28. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak on the budget, come forward, state your name and address for the record. Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing on the resolution 2458 budget. The adoption of resolution 2458 adopting the budget. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
First, second. Roll call.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald, Mr. Cronin,
Yes.
Next, we have the public hearing on ordinance 2407, salary ordinance. Anyone who wishes to come forward and speak on that, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Hearing none, close that portion of the public hearing on ordinance 2407 and move for and entertain a motion for adoption of 2407 salary ordinance. Second, Mr. Cronin first, Mr. Woods second. Any discussion on the salary ordinance? Hearing none, roll call please.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Yes.
Mr. Wood.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda is our presentation on the Track Triangle. We have our engineers from CME. We're here this evening. Michael Collins and Cheryl Patterson, who work on design associated with this project, and are here. We're ready to submit final design to DOT. They want to walk you through it, talk about any changes that we made, and answer any questions. Council.
Thank you, Mayor. Mike McCullough on behalf of Borough and Senior Associates. I have with me Sean Patterson, our project engineer. He's got a presentation he's going to go through with the Borough quickly. Any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Thank you all for having us. Sean Patterson, Associates, kind of run you guys through the Merchantville Pedestrian Street Project. I'm sure most are familiar, at least a little bit with the project. They've changed over time, so we just want to come before we submit to the DOT for their final review, how the project's looking, some goals of the project. So for those who aren't familiar, it's the NJDOT Transportation Alternative Program grant, which is a federal aid grant to fund non-traditional projects. The goal is mainly to strengthen cultural, aesthetic, and environmental aspects of surface transportation, which are alternate forms of transportation, walking, biking, things of that nature, non-motorized forms mostly is what this grant funds. The funding does fund design services and construction. So project goals for the pedestrian streeter to provide pedestrian facilities downtown to promote foot traffic, to improve pedestrian facilities and roadway crossings. I believe the roadway crossings are now part of the East Park Avenue county job, but we're going to be tying in with that part of the project as well, and to create a comfortable downtown area with seating, lighting, and landscape. Some of the features that we're proposing as part of the project is lighting improvements, which will include string lighting over the walkway, which I'll explain a little bit more later, as well as luminaires along the pedestrian street, seating, landscaping all along the pedestrian pathways. We're proposing a fire pit with seating, bike racks, cafe-style seating, planters. The cafe-style seating that we're proposing, you can see in the top right, we're currently proposing with 2 seats, but that's the style, and the planters as well that are going to be along the pedestrian street. So these are some of the examples of the fire pit. It's going to be a gas-powered fire pit built into seating. There's going to be areas around it for additional seating, like lawn chairs if members of the public want to come sit. And it will allow for public gatherings in newly improved downtown conditions. So this is the location of the project between Center Street, East Park Avenue, and East Chestnut Avenue. And now we'll look at the plans, and we'll do an overview of our current plan. You can see the physical plans are out too as well. So the proposed pedestrian streets, there's 2. One starting at South Center Street. So you're coming onto the pedestrian street. There's going to be cafe-style seating on this. There's no.
It's on that north side.
Yeah, that's a little better, right? So on the north side of the pedestrian street is where the cafe seating is going to go. So there'll be a small patio area with 4 cafe-style tables and chairs. As you go down the path, there's benches and planters walking through, along with landscaping on either side, which continues across. This is the bank driveway that's part of another development. And you'll continue down along further landscaping and lighting improvements. The string lighting is going to go along pedestrian street B. Then you meet in the middle with pedestrian street A, which starts on East Park Avenue. This is the tie-in with the East Park Avenue improvements. The walkway comes up, meets in the middle with a metal sculpture that's currently proposed that will be done as a separate part of this project. Also in this area is the fire pit with bench seating around the outside on another patio type area. Then you head north on pedestrian street A with benches on either side, along with luminaires to improve lighting along the street. Eventually that ties into the existing bikeway where we have a bike rack. There's also a bike rack on the south side of pedestrian street A, and there'll also be garbage and trash receptacles along pedestrian streets. As far as the landscaping and land go, this will be turned into a grass area. There'll be trees and landscaping beds in different parts and areas of the project. And then as part of the project, we were also asked to incorporate areas for an amphitheater or band shell, as well as a pavilion area and a comfort area that will constructed in the future to improve this site. So that's mainly the rundown of the project. We do have some details on some of the improvements that we'll show. So this is the breakdown of the pavers and concrete that will be the main walkways. So that's what it's going to look like with the colors. We'll have this is the cafe style seating that we're proposing in that patio area. And we also have the bike racks and benches that are going to be going alongside both sides of the pedestrian street A and B. And you can see here the proposed string lighting and luminaires that are part of the project. And that's a overall view of the project, some of the things we proposed, and happy to take any questions.
I'll just, Sean and Mike sent this around. I did ask for a couple small modifications. I think on our copy drawings.
Yeah,
The presentation was done before. We removed the seating that was in the center of walkway B, pedestrian street B. For the, it was like planters and things that could be an attractive nuisance for skateboarders and things of that nature, and move them so they're on the side of the walkway as opposed to the center of the walkway. There were also ADA concerns that were there in terms of how much space was on either side of those planters and seating benches that were in that. That was pretty much the major change that was done from what was presented. Yeah.
Correct, right? And that's mostly it.
I don't know. Usually there's things where it's all fixed. With even the tabletop fixed, chairs cheaper. But yeah, I know some conventional walk, but that's old. So the goal is to get you a chair. You should drag them. Go to different tables.
And there's 2 tables.
Oh, yeah, 3 tables.
But as part of the patio, yeah, there's 4 tables, so 2 seats for each. They're kind of staggered.
They're solid now, where it's like, might have someone with 4 people.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna, I'm afraid they're just gonna get taken away. Because that's my, and it'll be that way. My thought is that the place like the villas could utilize that as public seating. People get ice cream, walk down.
Yeah. No, I know it is. I was like, studies have shown that when you said anytime it's fixed like that, it's always. Sorry. I mean, that's what we want to do. I'm not side of the just I just didn't know if it was something we wanted to evaluate and say, hey, just
kind of shared out. But watch it in a way. Assuming it doesn't seem like we're going to ever get when I find what's going on.
I don't know. But on the folks count,
The bike racks, how many?
I believe there's 5 on each side, so it'll be 10 total.
So where?
So you have one at pedestrian street, at the bottom of pedestrian street, at the top of
Okay. And they're just like, oh, okay, so
Yeah.
they're single groups, but they're just in a row.
the box. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be, I think we have, I can pull it up, the one that we're showing. It's just-
I saw it.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, they're single, so,
that was under the restaurant.
That's not our release. That's not part of the
we have to call that as bio.
Okay.
But it's just there to show
That's fine.
for the layout.
As part of this project, I mean, I don't know if the property owners can put any barrier up here that's part of the project, the parking lot and the green space.
We weren't proposing any barrier, but it's something.
Was that, I don't
I think
recall.
the tank was closed plastic structure.
That, I know they were talking about the dumpster, but I don't know, there was something along like that tire.
There might have been a curb line or something, but not a barrier necessarily.
They wanted to keep some sort of,
Open from the
people aren't driving into the
No,
red space. Even if it's a urban, just to keep.
I believe we talked about a curb line. That's not under this project, so.
Okay.
I'll talk with
Sense for them.
Well, they wanted to be open because they wanted the exterior of the outdoor seating to be able to look on the fire pit.
And I'm not suggesting that it was flop.
But
It's
I-
like,
it's a
but like
safety
just
issue.
something that's a part of the building. But I, cause I just imagine that this is gonna fill up in a ballpark, you're behind other vehicle.
So should we also look at bollards and all the other types of traffic control? It kind of blends better.
I'll talk.
The curb by itself.
Yeah, at least something.
It looks like a short wall. For that part of it. I understand, well, nicer than some other options.
Eric, Sean, any questions?
Yeah, I mean, those are concerns. That's
Right. Yeah, we talked about that.
quite a bit. Yeah.
So we're currently working with the town's environmental team and LSRP to work through the last phase of the project. Today we sent some previous findings that had come up in 2019, I believe, to the town's LSRP. We're setting, that was a part of the development initially, we believe. And we're meeting with them on Thursday to discuss any remediation that may be necessary as part of this project.
Other than that, the intent is to submit this to DOT so that they can forward, approve the design and get this thing out.
For the environmental side, does the consider setting the assessment?
They've already done.
They've already.
Yeah, that was done.
It's-
Yeah, and there's some sort of fill, probably some soil that's gonna happen.
And I do believe we mentioned that to DOT,
We did.
and they're
See if they will probably
Yeah.
find this.
doing work out. So,
All right. Yeah, that's it, right? Anything else?
I don't believe so, no, and then meeting Thursday next week, so.
Great. Thank you, guys, I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Forward to getting this thing moved. 2016, right?
was a decade process. Really, so 20 years ago, so I mean,
Well, that's the real ID that. All right, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have April 14th, 2024. Everybody is here this evening and we vote. So I have a motion. Second. Motion. Colonel, second. Mr. Woods, all in favor? Next we have 28. Sorry, John. Cannot vote. Do I have a motion to approve those? Second. First. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Mr. Lee. Roof hole engineer.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
A couple of items we know from the engineer's report. The April 30th, S4M annual stormwater report was submitted. In compliance, obviously, which we still have to do a little bit more work on the Borough's stormwater website. So it should be additional. Borough up to speed. Plans for Somerset Phase 2, preliminary design is done. Same thing. Review approval for that. Did that complete Somerset intersection Westminster, including suicide intersection. And we look forward to the next party, set of parties.
Questions from Mr. Lee? Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. All right. Correspondence. Well, that's not true.
yes,
I did receive correspondence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
well, there's two ways. One, that's one of the council noted. With the change in my job position over at Borough University, the first bill work meets on Thursdays at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Making it from rolling to that commission meeting at 4 o'clock and made it almost possible for about 6 months for me. So I spoke with Teddy and I resigned from the personnel last meeting. We able to speak with them. They just do such a wonderful job that they really deserve, residents deserve to have someone. It is an asset to this community and it is an asset that we need to make sure we protect and diligently watch. I can tell you that the quality of work that we have far surpasses many other communities around here. Some communities that now I don't necessarily drink when I go to the restaurants in those communities. But I will tell you that that I don't have that. I drink our chocolate without hesitation. And so it's really an organization that is top notch. I just want to express my sincere appreciation for people who serve on the commission for as long as I've been able to. And I, at some point in the future, if my schedule changes, I look forward to serving. So I want to make sure everyone was aware that. I just thought it's so important because it's such an important asset and how much they actually contribute back to our town. Our budget would be substantially different if it wasn't for the Board Commission providing the free work they do. And our residents would be paying substantially more if it wasn't for us owning programs. So, so Sean, I know you work for the Board Commission, so you take pride in what you said. Again, your staff actually. So, just want to kind of put that out there. And then the other thing was also, was on these correspondence. DVRPC sent a questionnaire to me. That's something I worked on. It's not responsive. There you go. So that came by email.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Council reports. Mr. Woods, over to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just would like to report from Shade Tree and from Green Team that, this past, so the 26th, the two groups got together and had a community event. We had, I would say, probably 30 folks from the town come out and plant several trees in our tiny forest. I think in total we had over 100. So that project is really moving along, and we're in talks with Joe Waldron from the Boy Scouts, potentially getting some sort of barrier constructed around it to protect the tiny forest. Also from Shade Tree, we are welcoming a new commissioner, and it's on the agenda tonight if approved. Brad Mouse will be joining, and will be a great asset in addition to the team. And the only thing I'll send a report is from the Green Team that their meeting, monthly meeting is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Eclipse, right? Eclipse, okay, at Eclipse. That's all I have to say then.
Thank you. Questions, Mr. All right, thank you very much. Mr. Benjamin?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of things tonight. Sort of reports for the month of May, 5,834 hours cents to recover, 232 cases added, 230 cases disposed. For April, 2 virtual sessions and 1 in-person session. The diversity committee, they met April 22nd. Several things that they discussed, I've not finalized yet. Sorry, birthday hanging at Wellwood. Pride flag raising, along with additional Pride Day events, and coordinating with the association. Same as Juneteenth, we are still trying to the thing to do for the Juneteenth holiday. In the meantime, they are trying to start a fundraiser for t-shirt sales to help promote the organization. Their next meeting, it's a little out of order. The third quarter meeting will actually be in June the 13th and 27th. So we're working on finals.
Okay. Thank you very much. I know that they also working on a statement that they want to put out regarding diversity in our community, some of the stuff that's happening at the federal level.
Yes.
So I've been in touch with them. So. All right, questions for Mr. Ben? All right, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Nothing to report tonight.
You sure?
Back 70-hour work weeks,
Kidding, kidding.
put a damper on it.
All good. We'll expect next month to be super.
Yeah, super long.
One, we put out our meeting property, budget for payments, 14 properties, that's our requests. Fire clean, all 14 properties now today. So, late notices, we don't have all 14 properties. Here in the borough, again, these are properties which are not usually held by a bank at this point. But we're going to issue a payment second. Remember, these are fees that are due every 6 months. And so the second fee will go out in July. So we're prepared to do that. I want to make sure we're aware of that. The house on Center Street, I believe, still remains for sale.
It's under contract.
It's under contract now.
I was supposed to say it's under contract.
Okay, that was about that. So that's good news. I don't know who would sell it to. Okay. So that is for sale. We ordered out the contract. Then the other thing is for tonight's budget, I have a resolution here for $560. That's it.
Thank you. With regard to the fees and fines associated with the properties being on our abandoned or vacant property list, are those lienable fees and costs?
So because there's an actual number listed in our code as to what the value of the fee is, I believe what we need to do is we will then need to file a case against them. So we'll have to go with some kind of action in our court system. And then if they fail to appear or fail to pay judge, then becomes issued as a judgment against them, which we then as the borough can file as a lien, and then we can go through foreclosure.
Okay.
And take the property. So,
thank you.
Okay.
Other questions, Mr. Clark? Hearing none, clerk's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just letting you know that the art walk took place on Friday. Very nice night, beautiful, and I heard that it was successful. We will be having a Memorial Day ceremony at Wellwood Park at 10 a.m. on the 26th. And I asked, if you're going to be carrying the wreath up, let me know, please, so I can put it on the agenda. And then the birthday celebration has been scheduled for June 7th at Wellwood Park. And if you'd like to attend or help out, let me know that as well. And that's from 12 to 4 on June 7th. And
Okay, let's solve this issue.
okay.
Council, who is around? Like
The barrel or for the
Borough.
barrel. Okay.
I know you and I am both. Here's the training. Show your form. Okay, good. So Mr. Wood's gonna do, and we'll have the other. We'll give you a name on the other.
And will anybody be there to speak during the event to just say? Okay,
I just sounds like I'm not sure.
okay, all right.
You said you did a good job, yeah, all right. Did you want to talk?
No, I do not.
Yeah, that was in everybody's,
It's in Sharon's drive.
shared drive, it's emailed, I think, to everybody, that will get a chance to.
Anybody
read
else?
about the report.
I put it in Dan's folder, and then
Question. So, yeah, just take a little bit, if you have any questions, let me know. Reach out to them.
I actually didn't get
Dan's folder,
No, it's not dancing,
or, yeah, because Dan asked for it.
We'll get back to it.
So you can have it. It's on the Google Drive.
Okay, I will drive you an email. All right. CFO report, nothing other than, budget, thank you very much for everybody's support getting through that. Old business, we don't have anything to see. New business, we have a number of resolutions to be read by consent agenda. Does anybody have any objections to reading any of these resolutions?
Would that pull our 2565 side to us?
Okay, other than that. Okay. Do the consent agenda first. Resolution 2559 for authorized shared service grant for tax collector. That is contingent upon approval by Ad Council. Resolution 2560 approval to hire a tax assessor that would be effective July 1. Resolution 2561 appoint Brad Mouse to the Shade Tree Commission. Resolution 2562 authorization to go out to solid waste and recycling. Resolution 2563 authorization to go out to bid for cell towers. Resolution 2564 approval to hire Jovan Mercado as the police officer. Resolution 2566 approved in chapter 159 special item of revenue. Resolution 2567 authorizes transfer of tax sale revenue trust other funds to current fund. And resolution 2568 authorized shared service agreement for tax collector. That's an extension of our existing. I'll entertain a motion. So Woods is the first one. Second. Second.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Mr. Carno?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Thank you very much. And then consider separately resolution 2565 appointing Ray Woods, commercial consultant firm. Do I have a motion? Second. Carno was the first, Woods second. Roll call.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Same.
Mr. Carno?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes. Financial reports, as Mr. Carno said earlier.
It's not like we, financial report, $5,060.
motion, Mr. Kernan, do I have a second? Second. Mr. Woodford, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald? Mr. Kernow?
Yes.
Anything else? Other than Memorial Day, which we already did. Oh, you want to add that on?
What do we have? I'm sorry, yes.
Let's do it. We got
Okay, so I have two applications for use of public space. The first is by the American Legion Coast for Memorial Day at Wellwood Park. It has received all the necessary approvals.
I know.
So I'll make a motion. I would like to do that.
All right, let's do that one first. So we have a motion.
Second.
Give a second. Work. Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
So the second, application for use of public space, is from John Hoffman. He is proposing a block party, on Rogers Avenue between Cove and Center. My understanding is that it hasn't been reviewed by the chief of police, based on the reasoning that the residents still go neighbor, make sure that everybody was supportive of this event. They mentioned that it was on the 25th from 11 a.m. and goes till 6 p.m. Once the residents had a chance to speak with his neighbors, the chief of police will make a determination if they would be able to move forward with that proposed block party. The one thing that got my attention was that they said that they don't need any support from the police department or traffic control, which I would imagine that they would need to block off the road. So also asked that if we're going to move it, that would be amended to make that notation. But I'll make a motion to approve it on the condition that the gentleman applying support from his neighbors, that it receives the sign off from the chief of police, and that is amended to reflect that the street closure of the chief of police.
So if you approve that, also the ground. Yeah, inside the street. That's all.
That section's all, it's all about.
That's all.
What's the first property? Just on the first couple properties on the north side.
And food?
Yeah, no, Rogers, Center Street side. The first few properties, like across the street from Mr. Hopkins' house, that's all. The Lowe's lived there first.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
and there's like 3 or 4, and the very last house on like my side is the block. It's actually Pensacola, that's the Borough, was the Borough River. Yes, that's that in Pensacola, for properties. So that intersection of Cove and Center and Rogers, all 4 corners of that city, that's all.
Okay, well, I can contact Pensacola. This just came today, actually.
When are they looking to go? I'm sorry. 27th of May?
Yes. Yeah, and I did get 6 signatures from residents from him, but I don't know, I haven't been able to look at it, it's just before we came upstairs.
More residents.
Yeah,
I gotta go down. I mean, Adamski's,
Yeah, no.
the Hoffmans, there's like.
And I think I remember doing a block party once in March. I remember being, it was like, maybe get something like,
Percentage of.
yeah, it's like 50% plus one of the people on the street saying yes. In order to get the street closure, as long as you got 50% plus one, the police would come out and drop in to.
Yeah, he would put, she said he would put barricades up, he was fine with that.
Now, the only issue here is because it goes extends all the way to Center Street. Would we want to make, I don't think it's would have an issue,
I can.
I don't know that they have a process for closing off the street, but it's jointly shared by us and them.
that's what I'm thinking.
There isn't a process. If we're gonna approve a contingent upon, him meeting whatever the requirements are, and approved by the chief of police, I'm fine. I would also, it would be contingent upon providing an opportunity for council to object. Yeah. Should they want to object for it.
Okay,
I don't know what their requirements are. They may have types of terms required. I have no idea.
All I know is that probably want to make sure that they're fire because you probably want to be doing is the road's closed, right? Modification,
right.
you know. That's what we want to do.
I can see that.
No, I'm not, I'm just like, no. I don't know, I need your approval for 13 days. Yeah, that's just, yeah, I love that love.
Yeah.
Valuable, I think it's city, those objectives, always, one of the police and fire, check off on it. That's always no objection to the road. Right, teach about those things that we
Okay, so you can.
Oh, I have the addition. That's all.
You'll accept the friendly amendment? I got a motion second. That's all given to our opportunity.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Otherwise, we will not meet again until now, June 9th. So please mark the calendar accordingly, and enjoy the beginning of summer. All right. I'll entertain a motion.
So, second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Yeah. We got both diesels, plans, boards, I got the laptop. Oh, you got the 30.
Well, Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't think I did see you sound. Yeah. All right. I know she. Push. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I was there, so. No, they're just issuing. That's the leg. People say,
How's baseball? Anyway.
Yeah.
Change the game out of it. Good one. Change it. Now, is there like process? All base building box.
It's true. From where we that guys.
What's that?
Reset it up for the person. Nah, they're down.
There. I'll see Eric.
At S4, I do that. I don't know.
I was laughing. Guys were sitting underneath the thing, boom, and boom.
It was not long.
It was bored for a minute.
Yeah, we tried to, I think, stick it out for a little bit.
You're like,
it's coming out.
I love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The people that go up, buy ponchos, and go back, I'm like, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Why are you buying ponchos? You're just spending money.
Yeah, and then you use them to bring that part up.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So I can hang out with the
Please,
still bring this.
Exactly.
Is private property.
Right.
All right.
Not, there's, benches, right, and somebody moved it,
Trees up.
like,
Trees
there's
up.
benches, they're just so sad, and I thought.
Oh, you split three out. Right, so they're actually.
Like other parents that T-ball games.
So I was under the impression that they were around, I think they used things around.
I don't know where it's.
I remember
Anthony Knox Senior.
Yeah.
That they were kind of, they
Oh.
were.
Wrestling guy.
And I saw today when I left the lunch that they
That's
actually.
yeah, we'll be prosecuted.
People putting,
Smart.
live smoking in the area.
I can't even do that.
The county. One, time that I went there.
Who's that attorney?
Drop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there, the trail or something. They were just doing and it just. Sitting.
I would have thought that they.
Yeah, I'll bring that.
Yeah.
Well, and that would be fine if we put it there, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't, I didn't walk it,
That's
so I
fine.
don't think it's, but they were.
Yeah.
And
He's from.
Yeah, no, yeah.
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 You're right. So,
Yes, I put it in the school,
Yeah, it's,
but if it's something that
it's the video.
they wanna do outside, then they'll go back to the property.
They do, yeah.
Can't really
And they
have to
call
do
it.
it. So,
The 16-year-old.
Cigarettes, yeah, they're.
Oh,
Good old fashioned American.
Give it to my house.
No, no.
They always, every single night, garage. I don't even know how you can smoke that much.
I got the picture. Every day. And like, they never know.
I don't know how you can survive.
You see that? I know. I guess in fact, the theory of that series.
When they're out on that porch, like from the time the sun comes up, the wall goes down. They just take pictures. They wouldn't ruin their space.
You with nature.
I guess.
Looking for another faster.
Yeah.
You gotta convince. Why not? I had lunch with Mike.
Yeah, taking the story.
Yeah.
Right?
They have their stuff being on.
I turned out.
Jack, I can hear.
Yeah.
Jack's home.
Pretty sure my time on that was the third.
Oh my God.